Captain Alex Reed glanced out of the cockpit window as the last few passengers boarded Flight 1313. The sun was setting, casting an eerie orange glow over the tarmac. It was going to be a long flight from New York to London, but Alex was used to it. He had been a pilot for over 15 years and had flown this route countless times. As the plane taxied down the runway, Alex couldn't shake off a feeling of unease. He had always been sensitive to premonitions, and right now, he felt like something was off. But he brushed it off as pre-flight nerves and focused on the task at hand. As the plane reached cruising altitude, Alex relaxed a bit. The flight was smooth, and the passengers seemed content. Suddenly, a flight attendant approached Alex with a concerned look on her face. "Captain, there's a passenger in seat 13B who seems distressed," she said, her voice barely audible over the hum of the engines. Alex frowned. Seat 13B. The number sent a chill down his spine, but he tried to push the feeling aside. He made his way to the passenger's seat and found a young woman with a pale face and trembling hands. "Is everything okay, miss?" Alex asked, trying to sound reassuring. The woman looked up at him with wide eyes. I don't know. I feel like something bad is going to happen." Alex's unease grew stronger. He had never encountered a passenger like this before. He tried to calm her down, but she remained on edge. As the flight continued, Alex couldn't shake off the feeling that something was terribly wrong. Suddenly, the plane hit a patch of turbulence, jolting everyone in their seats. The seatbelt sign lit up, and the flight attendants hurried to secure the cabin. But the turbulence didn't stop. It grew stronger, and Alex struggled to keep the plane steady. The passengers were getting anxious, and the young woman in seat 13B looked terrified. Just when Alex thought it couldn't get any worse, the plane was hit by a bolt of lightning. The cockpit lit up with a blinding light, and for a moment, Alex thought he saw something outside the window. Something that shouldn't have been there. As the turbulence finally subsided, Alex tried to focus on flying the plane. But the image of that fleeting glimpse outside the window haunted him. He couldn't shake off the feeling that they were not alone up there in the sky. Night had fallen, and the cabin was dimly lit. Most of the passengers had fallen asleep, but Alex couldn't rest. He kept his eyes on the instruments, scanning the sky for any signs of trouble. Suddenly, a strange sound filled the cockpit. It was a low, eerie humming that seemed to come from all around them. Alex glanced at his co-pilot, but the man looked just as puzzled. "Did you hear that?" Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The co-pilot nodded, his eyes wide with fear. "What was that?" Before they could figure it out, the plane was enveloped in darkness. The lights in the cabin went out, and the instruments flickered. Panic spread among the passengers, and Alex struggled to maintain control of the aircraft. Just when it seemed like the situation couldn't get any worse, a voice filled the cockpit. It was soft and melodic, yet filled with an otherworldly quality that sent shivers down Alex's spine. "Captain Reed," the voice said, "we need to talk." Alex froze. He knew that voice. It was the voice of the young woman from seat 13B. But how was she speaking to him from the cabin? "Who are you?" Alex asked, his voice trembling. "I am the spirit of Sarah James," the voice replied. "I died on this very flight 5 years ago. I've been trying to reach out to you to warn you of the danger that lies ahead." Alex's mind raced. Sarah James had been a passenger on Flight 1313 that crashed 5 years ago, killing everyone on board. It had been a tragic accident, but there had been no survivors. How was it possible that her spirit was here now? As Sarah's voice continued to speak to him, Alex realized that she was trying to warn him about something. She told him that the plane was heading towards a storm unlike any other, a storm that had caused the crash 5 years ago. "The storm is not what it seems," Sarah's voice echoed in Alex's mind. "It's not a natural phenomenon. It's a manifestation of the darkness that still lingers from the crash. It feeds on fear and despair, and it will not rest until it claims more lives." Alex felt a chill run down his spine. He knew that he had to do something to save the plane and its passengers. But how could he fight against something so powerful and unknown? With Sarah's guidance, Alex made a decision. He would steer the plane away from the storm, no matter the cost. He communicated his plan to the co-pilot and the flight attendants, who were all shocked by his revelation. As the plane veered off course, the storm seemed to grow angrier. Lightning crackled around them, and the wind howled like a banshee. But Alex remained determined, his hands steady on the controls. Suddenly, the storm unleashed its full fury. Winds buffeted the plane from all sides, and rain lashed against the windows. It was a battle between man and nature, between light and darkness. Despite the overwhelming odds, Alex refused to give up. With Sarah's voice guiding him, He fought against the storm with all his might. Slowly but surely, the plane began to emerge from the storm's grasp. As they flew out of the storm, a sense of relief washed over the passengers and crew. The sun began to rise on the horizon, signaling the end of the nightmare. Alex knew that they had survived against all odds. As the plane landed safely in London, the passengers cheered and clapped, grateful to be alive. Alex stepped out of the cockpit, his heart pounding with adrenaline. He couldn't believe that they had made it through such a harrowing experience. In the days that followed, Alex couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. He tried to rationalize it, to find a scientific explanation for the strange events that had unfolded. But deep down, he knew that there was something more to it. He visited Sarah James' grave and paid his respects, thanking her for guiding him through the storm. As he stood there, he felt a sense of peace wash over him. He knew that he had witnessed something extraordinary, something that defied all logic and reason. From that day on, Alex became known as the pilot who had defied the storm. He continued to fly, but he never forgot the supernatural experience that had changed his life forever. And somewhere, in the vast expanse of the sky, Sarah James' spirit soared, watching over him with a smile.